Hey, Matt, it seemed like Sean wanted, right back here, Matt.
Thank you.
Seemed like, thank you. It seemed like Sean wanted to get you guys back in transition defense as fast as he could. What was your take on that for the game?
Yeah, well, obviously they're very good at driving the basketball. They're very good at pushing the basketball. So we didn't do anything different than we've always done. Like, we pick up the basketball and try to make them go back to the baseline. As we got tired as the game went on, that lessened, for us, and we had to do a better job. You got to be able to play through some fatigue there and just not let them get on the run. Now it creates different scenarios, because on made baskets you should always be able to get there, even though they're trying to get it out quick and push it. Sometimes with like a turnover or like a tough miss, sometimes you can't directly get the ball steered and get it going east and west. They want to go north and south, and we want to try to get it east and west. And so they're just trying to put that pressure on the paint, put that pressure on the rim, and just keep attacking, and we're trying to build walls and prevent it. And at times we were really good, and other times their offense was better than our defense.
Matt, can you just talk a little bit about how the two freshmen, Camden and Miles, both were able to respond in a short amount of minutes today?
Well, I thought they gave us minutes and did some good things. I thought they both did good things defensively, which I'm looking more at for those guys. But both of them can make shots. And so when you give that kind of athleticism, then they're starting to improve on the defensive end. Obviously Miles, made huge shots for us. He finishes the first half, which is a great momentum basket. And then when he sits there for a while and makes that big basket when they go zone on that three, that was key for us. But I thought they were very good on both ends of the court.
Matt, over here.
Thank you.
No problem. When it comes to Miles, in the 3 games he's played, you brought him in at the 10-minute mark against Sanford, 11, Morehead State 6 to 9. Obviously, that gives him the chance to provide energy and shooting when legs are tired for the other team. How did you decide that role was right for him at this stage of the game?
I didn't. It's really hard playing 10. If you guys look like on box scores, like with NBA people that get a set rotation, they'll play 48-minute games and they normally get set into 9, and right now I'm playing 10. So it's difficult, their athleticism, their quickness, their pressure. I want to keep 2 ball handlers in the game, and that kind of limits us because we're really loaded up at that wing spot. So I want to get him in situations where, now he's really at that 3, and you got 2 ball handlers there because his value is going to go way up. And he's going to get more open looks that way. Like, you're going to get open looks if you're just on the court and you're playing with Edey, right? If you execute things, you set good screens, you got a better chance. But then Braden Smith, and you throw that element in there with Braden and Zach, if you can get in with those guys, your percentage of shots that you're going to get, like that pass at the end of the first half, was just a great pass. It really helped off, and Miles got that shot. But he's a good player. And, he's the only guy. I looked out there today and we were running everything dry. Every single player was in our program last year. 2 of them redshirted, but everybody was here. He's the only one out there. So at times in practice, the only thing he hears is his name being yelled. But if he was with 4 other freshmen, he'd hear their names too. I tried to explain that to him. I'm like, don't look at it as like a negative. It's just, we need you to play. You want to play. You want to play more. I'm going to be on you so you can get to that point and hopefully, be someone that can play more minutes than he played tonight. But I think there's a lot of guys, coming off our bench that really helped us. I mean, look at those numbers. That was really good. Just across the board, everyone. I thought Caleb first didn't play much in the first half. And like I've always said about our front court, like, we're going to have that. We're going to have really good players sometimes not play very much because Zach's going to swallow up 30 minutes. But I thought he kept his head, made some really good defensive plays, made some good offensive plays, and really helped us win the game.
Yeah, Xavier hit a lot of tough, deep jumpers on you.
Yes.
Is that something you just kind of tip your cap to, or are there things specifically that you just want to see cleaned up related to that?
No, that's what we want. We want the runners, the floaters, the tough perimeter shots. We're big on trying to keep the ball out of the paint. We're big on not fouling, staying into ball screens, not letting them get clean threes. And really forcing them into those tough runners, floaters, especially oversized.
Matt, are you kind of surprised when you have a team with, as you said, you've got 200 minutes and 12 guys,
Yeah.
and these guys are willing to, Caleb Force was a starter last year, and he just talked about, hey, if I play 5 minutes, I'm going to go play the best 5 minutes I can play. That's probably not hard to get guys to comprehend a lot of times, but this group seems to get it, that it's not about them, it's about, an end of the season goal with this group.
Right. Well, you have to have mature guys, more than anything. You have to have guys that are going to put winning, over themselves. And, I don't want them to be happy, but I want them to be professional. Like, I don't want somebody that's a good player to play 10 minutes and be okay with it. Just say, okay, that's the way it is. Now, I want them to work so they can play more and just keep grinding it, but be professional and cheer for their teammates. Like, whoever's playing in front of them is their teammate. And so really understand that. If you can have that professional mindset as a young player, when you do get a chance, you're just going to play better. When you get mad and you sit there and you stew, now when you get your opportunity, you won't play as well. I know that might not make sense to people that have never played, but if you've played competitive sports, having a clear mind and just staying positive, it helps you, tenfold.
I don't know what you thought real time, but it didn't feel like a classic Zach game. And then he finishes with 28-11, 11 fouls drawn, 4 blocks. How do you not take that for granted when he does it every game, sometimes quietly?
Right. Why, if you watch him, you expect him to make every shot. But what's a cool thing about it is so does he. So he missed 8 shots, like he's not happy about it. And so, like, his gauge isn't somebody else, his gauge is himself. But as long as we win, I know he's happy. I thought he did some really good things. They stayed home a lot and made him make some tough, post moves. And, he just has to keep staying with it. But I thought he did a good job. When you come down the stretch and you get into that bonus and, you just keep giving it to him. Now he's got to make decisions. Does he have the angle to score? Does he have to pass? So even when he turns it over, here and there, it's still all right. We just got to stay aggressive with him and force other teams into a bind.
Matt, you talked about Caleb a little bit. Just what does he bring you as a guy who can play the 4 and the 5? What value does he add when he's on the court?
Yeah, well, he rebounded well. He had some block shots. Obviously, he stuck that 3, which was a big 3 for us. Just his versatility, more than anything. And, when he's detail-oriented and he's paying attention to details, he's a good player. That's when his athleticism comes out. He's got a good ability to sense things, especially with Zach about diving. He can make some hard dives and get dunks, get layups when they give him too much attention. But no, he's a good player. And he's been a little bit short on minutes here because of what I've talked about. But tonight it felt like from a defensive standpoint, it really helped us. Then he made a couple key offensive plays, and it just made sense to stay with him more down the stretch.
Matt, how much value is a timely 3-pointer? Because we've seen you guys go volume a lot.
Right.
Just the timeliness of 3-pointers
Right.
as you get through this season. Is this something that can really help your team as you get deeper?
I hope so. You look at our bench, obviously Ethan and Caleb's were, wide open 3, step-in 3s, but they were the right play, the right shot, even if they missed it. And obviously Miles is 3 threes. And on down the line, I wish Lance would come out of Crawfordsville when he shoots his 3s, but that's all right. But if you're going that way, it'd be different. It'd be Crawfordsville on the north end. So come out of Monticello on the south end. Those are big suburban towns here. We got West Lafayette, people that don't know. But no, I liked our skill level, and obviously last year we just kind of collectively, lost our confidence, and that's tough because nobody's trying to do that, and everybody's working and putting in time, and that's what you got to have. You got to have enough guys, and I believe we have enough guys to where, like, if somebody's struggling, we got other people to pick them up.
Mike and then Angela.
Matt, I wanted to ask you about this was apparently the last Gavitt games.
Yes.
And obviously this is the first year without the ACC Challenge. Are you sorry to see these games go away? Are you tired of playing them and happy to see them go away?
No, I like it because from a scheduling standpoint, you get a quality ACC opponent, you get a quality Big East opponent, one's home, one's away, and now you get to your MTE, we play in Indianapolis, and so like now we get set and we can move forward. We get our bye games, then we gotta grab a game or two in between. So I like other people doing my work. But we've always wanted, you know, to play the best. Like we've always wanted, you know, to go on the road in the Big East or go on the road in the ACC and play those guys just like they want to come here and play. You know, Xavier wanted to win this game, but there's no doubt they're a better team. Like we played the ACC Big Ten Challenge and went down to Florida State and had a heartbreaker, but you know, you're a better team afterwards, and that's what you know, we got to continue to do. And it's too bad because, you know, Mr. Gavitt and everything he meant, you know, to the game, you know, everything he did at Providence, everything he did with the Big East, and being able to honor him, and just really difficult when we have 18 teams and they have 11, and how you balance that and how you do that. It just wasn't going to be something that you could work through. So, but it's unfortunate we couldn't have played it because I know we really enjoyed it.
Last one.
Coach, right here, in that vein of building better, even if you lose against a big opponent, you're going into the Maui Invitational next week. What do you want to gain out of going against Gonzaga and all the top teams that'll be there?
Yeah, just keep your focus on that team. Like you can talk about the field, and a lot of you guys will. Like Gonzaga's enough for us, and so like worry about Gonzaga. If you're fortunate enough to win, or even if you don't win, you're going to have a tough opponent the next night. Then move to that game at that time. So we played them last year, and we're fortunate enough to win. So we're familiar with their personnel. They're familiar with us, familiar with styles. Just got to go out there and compete and and execute. But it's gonna be a big challenge for us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.